How you doing? Let's listen to this track. Yeah, let me show you how I usually deal with this. So the first thing, of course, I'm gonna set up is a sidechain. In my session, I always have these two channels. So I've got a FX channel, mellow, which is my melody bus, bass bus, cymbal bus, kick, snare, all drums, which is cymbals and kick and snare combined. And then we got sidechain. Sidechain, usually I throw everything which is like melodic or bassy in, and then I have the kick drum as like the main trigger. So whatever I send to the sidechain channel gets sidechained by the kick. Now I have to set up the sidechain. Let me set up Shaperbox. So the volume curve is like similar to the kick drum. Yeah. For the first kick drum, this works. Second kick drum, I think I want to replace it with a different kick drum. So what I'm doing now is like I'm cleaning up this kick drum, like the short one and the long one. And then I'm gonna replace it with a second kick drum, or like a second sound maybe. I'm not sure if I even wanna have it as a kick drum. Then I'm gonna just let the kick drum and the sub play. Down here you see the waveform. And you see that if I have the sidechain on, there's no clashing. If I turn it off, you see how wobbly the waveform gets. Clean kick drum, clean sub, boom, bam, that's what we want. Also, I use Ring Mod Sidechain. It's a plugin you can grab for free on the internet. I use that after Shaperbox, where I can just be sure that it like cleans up the end of whatever sound I'm sidechaining it with. Nice. Now I can look for sounds, for melody elements, for whatever I want always to be sidechained. So I'm gonna send these here. The basses, lead pads go into the mellow bus, and the mellow bus goes into the sidechain anyway. And then I've got these two basses also go into the bass bus. Boom. Kick drum is smack-a-crack-a-lackin'. Then, like I said, I want to add a different sound. Get one of my kick drums. Also, stay tuned quite soon. In October, you're gonna get a brand new sample pack from yours truly. Just to have like this repeating pattern here I got. I think I'm gonna take this one. Okay, perfect. Boom, boom, boom. Shorten this mother trucker. Definitely gonna get rid of the bass on this one. Get rid of the bass. I'm gonna call it rhythm kick. I think I want to distort it just a little. I'm gonna take some tape distortion. Makes it a bit Nokia. And last but not least, as you can see down here, without the compressor, it's like quite transient. And I want to tame a bit of this transient. If I just turn up the compressor, you're gonna see how the whole thing, the whole attack just gets smushed a little. I'm gonna turn on the drum loop. Can be louder. And I'm gonna sidechain just this kick drum to the bass bus. So it gets sidechained just a little, 150 to 300. This is the range. Now I'm gonna take the kick drum as an input. I gotta make it short again. So this rhythm, boom, we got it. So we got this crash effect and the sub. So now I'm sending the sub into this crash effect as a sidechain. And then I use delta, and here I'm gonna pick the sub as a sidechain input. Overdrive pedal is my favorite, and then when I play the sub with the crash here, the whole cymbal gets crunched up, which which is sexy. Chef's kiss. Let me just first mix the drums properly. I'm not so sure about these rhythm kicks, if I want to even have those in there, if I even need those. I think I want to add like a frequency shift or something to this bass. Since it's just always the same, I want to just at least have a little shift in timbre. Be a little ramp up. And then a ramp down. Also this needs a little less. It has some too much of this. This. I don't want a lot of low end to be there, just so the drop hits pow in your face. I didn't like the rhythm, whatever kick. I got rid of it, and I don't need anything there. The sub, it works nice. Yeah, the chorus effect has like a chorus. It's just a little swervy element. So the open hi-hats kind of swerve around. At the same time, what I want to do is like automate the panning. So I always have each hit be left, right, just a little. That's a thing I do quite often. Instead of just throwing a random widener plugin on something, especially if it's like rhythmic elements, like an open hi-hat or whatever, I tend to like have it go back and forth from the left and right channel. So it's a little more interesting, I would say. And as we have the open hi-hat, the clap, and then this break, all on the offbeat, I want them separated just a little. So with the breakbeat, we get a bit more of the upper mids. With the clap, I want to have a bit more of the lower mids. And then the hi-hat is gonna like make it sparkle a bit more. And that's why this I'm gonna send back and forth from the left and the right channel. So first without. And now panning enabled. It also helps to create a bit more depth when it comes to like the stereo field without, like I said, adding another widening plugin. I might even crunch up the sub a little more. Also, Plasma, this guy, it's for free. That's one thing which is quite good. And then also get Bass Lane, which also is a free plugin, and it makes your basses wide. Sounds weird, but it works. It has like these side harmonics. All your bass information is gonna stay mono and tight and perfect. There's even a pro version, which is I think like 150 or 170 bucks. But this is quite nice. I usually set the depth to like 80% roughly, and then I turn up the sides. If you have headphones or speakers, listen up now. I'm gonna play around with it, and you can hear how the sub gets like these side harmonics, which are nice. How do you decide what the level of the sub should be? So usually I always work with the oscilloscope down here. Preferably with my music, I want the kick and the snares to be the loudest element in the track. I want them to friggin' knock. A. B. If I have my drums loud, I know that when I compress and clip the final track, the master, I don't run into issues because you want your transient information, your kick, your snare louder than your basses or your melodies, because if you crunch through like a compressor and a clipper and a limiter, crunch up the whole track, if all the transients get cut off, it stays clean. But if you have, let me show you, like the bass is now similar with the kick drum. Down here you see it. But if it would be the other way around and the kick would be more quiet, then you run into issues because the kick, the sub gets compressed and clipped first. So always try to have my kick drum be the loudest element. I could clip it right here now. And even though it gets clipped off, the kick drum stays there, the sub is untouched, which is nice. I don't really 100% like the crunch of the plasma, just a little bit, but I like it on the first hit, but I don't like it on the ones after, so I'm just gonna automate it in for the first hit. So there's boom, and then turn it down again. So let's find another kick drum. I'm gonna take my favorite kick drum, which is the Bukez kick drum number 4.4 version 2. That's my favorite kick drum I've ever made. I like it. It has like this slight lasery knock in the beginning. Sexy. I like it. I like it. I like this kick drum way better. I like this kick drum way better. So I think that's gonna be the one. Of course, I'm gonna shout out to Schwabe, as you would pronounce it in German. Audio sent me their plugin Orange Clip. Powerful clipper, wonderful clipper, clean clipper, aggressive clipper, really good to understand clipper, and multi-band clipper. Goddamn. I saw an ad, I tried out the demo, I really like it. Can I please have a copy? And they were like, we appreciate you asking. Try it out. Because I saw there's a multi-band function and it's fucking gorgeous. Nice. And it's not that loud yet, I can still clip it more and it still sounds good. section. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's another trick. Maybe not everyone is doing it. So now I've got this lead pad and I want to have a bit more reverb on this lead pad. But if I would just have it on the channel as an insert effect, it would just like drown the whole sample and make it reverby. And if I just send it into a send effect, it also just is gonna reverb out too much. So I'm gonna use a compressor and I'm gonna take the pad, which I want a bit more reverbed, as the sidechain input on the send effect. So I'm sending the lead pad into another channel. We have the reverb 100% and then a compressor right after it. My compressor settings, boop, just like quick attack. Then I'm gonna slow down the release so it like slowly goes back. And then I'm gonna take the lead for the sidechain. So whenever the lead stops playing, the reverb slowly swells in and like fills up the gaps. So you don't have the whole sample drowned in reverb. It just comes in and out when it stops playing. There was a click. The thing is, I'm just now realizing I'm happy with this track. It doesn't really need a lot. Mixing wise, I'm happy. Yeah, I know the feeling when you're like kind of sad that the journey is over and you're done with something. I know. Right on. Learning when it's done. Yeah. Because I could add so much more. I still got ideas to like add this and add this, but sometimes you just gotta, yeah, like I said, appreciate it. And I think it's definitely there. Drink up. Okay, what's gonna be? Wouter? Mate. Of course, first we take the Wouter. Appreciate you, Gel Berlin, taking care of me. Let's drink up, ladies and gents. Let's go back to hopefully finalizing this track. The female vocal is saying pressure. And then before that, I have the Beastie Boys vocal from the phrase before the drop. And it says, it's pressure. It's pressure. It's the news. But yes. I think that's nearly it. Maybe I'm going to change up the break a little and then have the second drop with a little switch. Not today. I think I made enough progress. Now we're gonna check it again from the topper, and while we do so, I'm just gonna crank it a little. So let's check from the beginning. And it's not that loud yet. I can still clip it more and it still sounds good. Yes,